So, hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Axel 72 channel. I know this is very different to what you've probably ever seen before. You probably won't be able to see too much of me, but I'm not the main focus of this video. I've got Aqib Fiaz here. I hope I've pronounced your name right. Do you want to just welcome yourself?
Yeah, Aqib Fiaz. It was close,
Aqib.
mate. It was a good first attempt.
My bad. I'm always
Yeah,
terrible
it's
with
alright,
names.
mate.
All right, okay. So we'll just get straight into it, really. So you're an 8-0 boxer, super featherweight, on the next gen boxing card on Sheffield on the 6th of August. And we'll start off just going back to the start of your career. So, who was your real boxing inspiration?
What do you mean?
Just
As a
just
as a
getting
young
into it.
kid,
Like,
yeah,
did you really look up to anybody?
yeah, of course. Obviously, Amir Khan was someone I looked
Mm.
up to a lot. And yeah, he was probably one of the people that got us into boxing, and because he was from similar sort of background to us, he was the reason why we started. You know what I mean? And seeing him do so well,
Yeah,
obviously give us that drive and that motivation to sort of get into it.
of course. Yeah, he seemed like he was a big inspiration for a lot of people coming up nowadays.
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
yeah. So, what got you into boxing?
I was always sort of just getting into trouble, fighting in school and stuff. Really, I was only young when I started boxing. I was about 8 years old, but one day
Really?
my dad had just had enough, and he just said that, "All right, I'm taking you to the boxing gym after fighting school."
Yeah.
Mum was always shouting at me, giving me stick, and giving me grief for it. But my dad was like, "Right, I've got the right idea for him."
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it seems like that is
Yeah,
also the case of a lot of fighters. They always kind of started off getting into trouble, and boxing was a way to get
yeah.
out of that, really.
Yeah, no, because my mum would always shout at me and give us a smack round the ear and that, which is obviously something that you don't get away with these days. But, and then she said, "Right, I've had enough of it now. I'm telling you, Dad." And I was scared really before
Yeah,
he got home from work, and but he didn't shout at me. He wasn't like I expected. He just drove me straight to a boxing gym, and yeah, and that was it.
it's good parenting from what it sounds.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, well, you've had a lot of amateur fights from what I've read up on. Was it about 75, something like that?
Yeah, between 70 75 amateur fights, you lose sort of. Well, like, I lost track
I'm
about
not surprised.
around the 30 mark. I stopped like
Yeah,
being
yeah,
too bothered there.
yeah. So, do you kind of have any recollection of your first one? I know it was probably a little while ago now, but
Yeah,
what it was just like.
my first fight was on my 11th birthday. I was
Oh,
only
right.
just old enough to start fighting.
Hmm.
Um, I was really overweight. I remember being this picture somewhere on my Instagram or on my social medias. I was about, I think, my first fight would have been 70 kilo at 11.
Right. Okay.
So I think that was about 11 stone. Um, yeah, and the guy, I couldn't even reach him. He was too tall. He was too big. His muscles were too big. But I did all right.
Yeah.
I, I I remember I couldn't get close to him the first round, and the second and third round, he sort of got a bit tired, really.
Hmm.
Obviously, I think it was his first fight as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got beat by the way.
Right. Okay.
And then I remember being heartbroken and thinking I was going to win the fight, even though he was so much bigger than me.
Yeah. Yeah. What did that
But yeah,
kind of want you to, well, kind of inspire you to just kind of lose any of your weight and just kind of get into it more
yeah,
and
yeah. And
more?
then after that, I started getting my weight down, and then I think my next fight was at like 65 kilos. That was in Oldham in my hometown as
Oh
well.
yeah.
So I had loads of mates there, and I remember
Yeah.
box someone who's a bit similar to me, he's a bit, a chubby kid as well, and we just had a scrap for 3 rounds. I ended up winning. Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Great.
probably still one of my best moments.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
just
you did
addicted.
really well in your amateur career, getting multiple belts from what I've heard of. And in the end, why did you decide to turn pro when you did?
There wasn't really any sort of deciding factor. I was on I was up at I was on the England squad
Hmm.
for a long time. I was on the sort of verge of maybe getting GB trials and stuff, and then I just remember started sparring Carl Frampton.
Hmm.
And that was my sort of I sort of realised that I think I might be better at being a professional than amateur, because I wasn't the best amateur, to be honest. I was okay, did well, but then sort of decided then that it was time, and I remember asking Jamie if he'd like to train me, and when he said yeah, that was for me. That was the deciding factor. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So obviously you had a few fights before you kind of made your big move to Matchroom boxing. But what is it like fighting for Matchroom boxing now you are doing so?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, the Matchroom is probably the biggest promoter in the world, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I'm lucky and I'm blessed to be in that position. Um, and yeah, it's great. It's going well. I've had a couple good fights now on their shows. I think three pretty decent, fights. Once on, I think a couple times on TV too, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah, mate, it's something that when I was younger, I dreamed of doing. And if you told me I'd be doing it, I'd snatch. If you said to me, "Here's an opportunity to come and box and Matchroom and DAZN and whatever," and obviously once it was on Sky as well when I first signed with them. I'd have snatched it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm pretty happy. Yeah.
I bet it definitely gives you better opportunities to work with like Eddie Hearn, and that gives you more kind of options for who you want to be fighting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's more eyes, there's more people watching, but with that comes a lot of pressure as well, and you've just got to learn to deal with it. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. So what was your last fight like? I've seen a few of your fights, but the last one, obviously, it's your most recent one. Another win. But what was it like? Was it your toughest one, or was it just?
No, so not my last fight. The fight before was 12 months ago now.
Right.
And then a few weeks later, I sadly lost my mum and my best friend. A couple of days later, after the fight, and I had a hand operation as well. So I was out for about 12 months. And my last fight was just a sort of comeback fight. It was on my manager's show, VIP, Steve Wood. And yeah, it was just a sort of comeback fight. It was good. It was a good 6 rounder. 6 rounds with him, and I was just glad to be back in there, mate. After a long and frustrating 2021, it was just good to be back in there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a good relief to kind of get some things off your shoulders in a way.
Yeah, of course, and I usually stay in the gym all the time and stuff, so it was good. It was just good to get me focused back, give myself a goal, because I had a broken hand. I wasn't in the gym, so that for me, that's not normal. I've spent my whole life in the gym, so it was just good to get a goal, get back in shape, and get back in the ring. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So what is it like working with Jamie Moore? As I've seen, he's obviously coached some great fighters in Fury and Khan and Catterall. But what's it like working with him in your perspective?
Yeah, Jamie's a great coach, and he's a great person as well. We've got a great team up there. And they're like family. Like I say, obviously, I went through quite a bit last year, and yeah, if Jamie, Nigel, obviously, and the rest of the team weren't there, if I was with a different team, I don't know how it would have been, but I know that what I went through last year, I know that I'm with the right team, because they are like family, and they was there through the darkest of times for me, and I appreciate them massively. Yeah, so great people and great trainers. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So how's training been going for this fight that you've got coming up?
Yeah, really good. We're getting close now. It's my last hard week of training, and then obviously next week is fight week, so we'll start tapering back. I was out in Tenerife for a week with Jamie, out there sparring, doing some running up the mountains and stuff, getting the altitude training in. So yeah, good. Really, I'm really fit, really ready, and I can't wait. Yeah.
All right, great. And sparring as well. You've been sparring some tough people.
Yeah. So while I was here, I was sparring the top of the bill. I sparred both of them actually, Dalton Smith and Sam O'Mason. I was getting some good work in with both of them while over here, and then out there as well. Yeah, sparring good fighters as well. So yeah, sparring's gone great, and it's been a great camp, really. Yeah.
So do you kind of know who your opponent's going to be, or is it just like when you find out, you'll tell everybody?
Well, we had one nailed in, and we were working towards that opponent. Sorry, and I just had news a couple of days ago that he's no longer having the fight. So for some reason I'm not too sure why. But yeah, so we're still on the lookout, to be honest. So yeah, I should hopefully find out soon because there's not long left.
I was going to say not too long left now.
Yeah, yeah, but this kind of thing happens in boxing, so you just got to be adaptable and ready for whatever, aren't you?
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, this next question is kind of you can't really answer too well because you don't know your opponent. But do you see yourself? How do you see yourself getting on in this next fight? Do you come in with a lot of confidence?
Yeah, I mean, I work hard, so that brings confidence in itself. And I feel like working hard is something that you obviously do, but it gives you that confidence. You can't be confident and you can't be ready for a fight if you don't work hard. So it all goes hand in hand, and if you don't do one, you won't be confident. So I've worked extremely hard this camp, and not just this camp, but all the time. So I'm extremely confident. Yeah.
All right, great. So when will we possibly see you fight next? Do you have any idea, or do you think it'll be before the end of the year?
I would like to think so. Yeah, hopefully. Like I said, I was inactive last year, so I want to be active this year. I want to get as many fights as possible, and I'll fight every month if I have to.
Right.
I'm not too bothered.
Yeah.
But obviously, like you say, eyes on the 6th of August first. We got to get that win there first, and then we move forward. Yeah.
So another question, which is kind of based on towards the future, where do you think you might be in the next 5 years? Do you think you'll be fighting for world titles, or do you think it will just be kind of a path that you go on?
Everyone says they want to be a world title and they want to fight for world titles and stuff. And realistically, the level that I'm in there working with sparring. I've had some great sparring, and I know sparring, but it's potential. And yeah, of course, I would like to think so. Otherwise, I don't think I would be boxing if I didn't believe that I could reach the top of the sport. And I've shared rounds with people that are there, been there. So there's no reason why I can't. Yeah.
Oh, great. Obviously you're young, so maybe in the next 5 years you'll kind of be heading more in towards your prime. So you'll have to see. I believe you can definitely get up there with the best of the best. Like I've seen you fight, and you do seem like a very good up and coming fighter, one to look out for.
Nice one. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that.
That's completely fine. So we're gonna have a little bit of a fun question now. Obviously, from what it seems, you have a good taste in music, and I was just wondering if you have any idea what kind of song you're gonna be walking out to next.
I'm not too sure yet. Actually, that's a good one. If you could get people to comment and leave some suggestions, that might be a good idea. Because I haven't got a clue yet. Usually, it's just something that I usually just whatever I'm listening to at the time, whatever makes you feel good while running on the road, something. Yeah. So I'm not too sure. Yeah. So if people would like to leave some comments below on your YouTube video, I'd appreciate that. Yeah.
All right. Cool. And then I'll just kind of leave with a kind of final question. Really, what is your thoughts on the main event? Because obviously you said you sparred with both of them, and you are fighting on the undercard of the fight. What's your thoughts on the main event?
I mean, they're both good fighters, but for me, Dalton Smith, he's a good friend of mine as well. We were on the England squad and stuff together as amateurs and everything. I've known him and his dad for a long time. He's a very, very special fighter in my opinion. And if Samuel Mason's going to cause many problems, he'll have to be on the top of his game. Because I really, really do rate Dalton. So it's going to be a good fight, and you can't write anyone off because as they say, there's no such thing as an easy fight.
Of course.
But for me, it's going in Dalton's favour. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like that's kind of what people are thinking. I believe he's the favourite going into the fight. But I mean, I'm sure we'll be seeing you up there soon, fighting on main events for cards. So, I mean, I'll just leave you by saying good luck with your next fight. Hope it all goes well. And maybe when you are fighting at these big events, main events and stuff like that, we can maybe do a return interview and just kind of see how things have changed. And just good luck. I'll leave it with.
Cheers. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that.
All right, great. And all right, I'll say thanks for watching. Like the video if you didn't like the video, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.